In last week's activity, we did a value scale using pencil. This week we will continue creating value scales with pen. You will need your drawing paper, have a ruler to draw out the lines for the value scale, and I'm using a Uniball Vision pen. You could use any pen that you have available. So to get started, we're going to draw. So now that you have your 6 boxes created, 2 of those are going to be filled with lines, and the other one we will fill with shapes, because we ultimately are working toward creating Zentangle patterns with this week's project. So I will label this first box our hatching. And then we will do cross hatching. In our third box, we are going to do a shape, and we're going to value scale using circles. So in my first block with hatching, and you're going to notice I'm going to use a sheet of copy paper just to keep my hand from touching the ink so we're not smearing. I'm just going to put a few lines in my first box to show my lightest box with lines. So if that box had 3, now I want to go to the second box. I will probably add close to 6 to double the effect of the number of lines. So this box, because it has more lines in it, definitely looks darker than my box that just has 3. And so I'm just going to continue that across my remaining 4 boxes. I'm going to take a paper towel and wipe down my ruler to get the ink off the edges. We can move on to our cross-hatching boxes. So again, similar to my hatching box that did not have many lines, cross-hatching will be very similar. So there's my box 1. Now you have a 1 through 6 value scale with cross hatching. Next up is circles. So we'll take the shape and we'll create the value by the size of the shape and how many we use in each box. So I will free draw the circles. They will not be perfect shaped. So in this first box, I may try to get 3 circles. So I've ended up with 3. Now I'm going to add a few more. They're also going to start to get smaller so they take up more space. And I'll continue across the value scale, gradually getting smaller. After you've created your 3 boxes, we're now going to do a pattern box. So we're going to do 4 boxes this time. And then we're also going to do 2 practice boxes for Zentangles. So this will be our practice pattern. And this will be a light Zentangle, and this will be a dark practice. I will demo one for you, and then you can create 2 on your own for your exercise. So starting in this practice pattern, I'm going to create a shape. We'll divide each box into 4. You can use your ruler, or it's up to you. You can freehand. When you do your final project, the Zentangles will be very free-form. Again, we're going to go light to dark, so this will be my lightest box. This will be my darkest. I'm going to go in the top right corner of each box and just put a quarter circle, and then I'm going to bring 3 lines off of that. Now I'm repeating that same pattern. I will go into my second block, create my half circle. Instead of doing 3 lines, I may consider increasing. Do my center line first. Now this time I'll pull 2 lines off. I just need to make sure that this box has enough line and pattern that it appears darker than my first one. Moving on to the third box, repeat the same thing. Establish the main pattern first. When you start to create Zentangles for your project for this week, you're going to want to use a wide range of patterns that create various value scales. So in looking at this example, this block is very light, because nothing is filled in. It's just a line drawing of this organic shape. These are very medium. Their line thickness is all the same. The box is filled in. And then you go to boxes like these two, that would be much darker because they have a larger filled in solid area of color. So keeping that in mind, let's make a light box based off of a checkerboard pattern. It's not going to be completely straight lines. We'll just do a loose curve. We want to cross them. It's my lightest box, so I want it to be fairly open. But then I'm going to go to the places where it crosses and just add a diamond to add a little more to this pattern. So that could be a pattern that you create that could be on your light end of the value scale. On the opposite side of the value scale with the dark, we will do another checkerboard effect. Only this time we're going to fill in our So two concepts of a grid pattern or checkerboard. This one staying much more on the light value end of the value scale. This one being on the dark end. Use your paper and create your own light pattern and dark pattern for this week's exercise.